What's going on, everybody? Episode 8 of the Casual Millennials podcast. As always, sitting across from my friend and co-host, Eric Hess. Eric, how's life?
Great. A little wet today. My name's Kyle, but I got caught in the rain on a scooter on the way here.
Nice. Well, you weren't riding a bike this time, so no workout, huh?
No workout.
As you mentioned, we are joined by a friend, also a Whitewater grad, Kyle Martinelli. Kyle, what's going on?
Good. I did not come here on a bird. Still got wet though, so it's okay. Enjoying this, and we'll see where this goes. So
Yeah, first time on a podcast, right?
yeah, first time ever on podcast, TV, any media other than my own Facebook, I think. So
What about Twitter?
yeah, I've been on Twitter and Instagram.
There you go.
Vine once or twice.
TikTok? I downloaded TikTok now.
Did you?
No, I've not been on TikTok. I hear a lot about that though.
Same thing as mine.
It's like mine, but worse.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Just a bunch of like 16-year-olds.
Yeah,
It's like us when we were 16. If we had access.
Gary Vee on that all the time.
Yeah.
I was like TikTok is a new thing.
Yeah.
They just announced their ad platform and went live like a couple
Oh,
weeks
really?
ago. So it's just been full of that kind of stuff.
There's another CEO that was talking about TikTok too. I forget who it was. I read some like blurb about it.
Yeah.
So that's where like 26% of the people on there are buying power currently. And there's like not 12 million people on the app,
Yeah.
and nobody's using it. But we talk about TikTok a lot. And let's move on.
we
to
got
our
different
conversation.
avenues.
Yeah, so if you're watching, I look like shit. Sorry, I just got off of mats and I'm out of jiu-jitsu class, so
Yeah.
my body's hurting right now. I'm sweaty and tired as shit, but we're here, we're recording a podcast, and I'm excited to learn more and see where this conversation goes. So Kyle, why don't you just give the 30-minute spiel about who you are, what you do, what you went to college for, and maybe anything else you feel like talking about.
So grew up in South Central Wisconsin, a little town called Milton. Went to Whitewater for business. Had no idea what I wanted to do with that until maybe junior year, I think, maybe late sophomore year. So I got a supply chain management degree, which I used for 0% college. So I started with U.S. Bank straight out of college in the Kenosha area, and then moved to Milwaukee. Been chasing my dream since then.
What's the dream?
Still work with U.S. Bank. Building a better future. As bad as that sounds.
Better future.
His my inner circle. No. I don't know. It's hard to define it. I think it's a moving target for sure. Like at all times. I thought it was going to be just like a 9 to 5 coming out of college, and now it's kind of evolved a lot. A lot of things I'm currently doing, things I'm working on, a lot of things I want to work on in the future. So currently still an accountant with U.S. Bank. Do a little real estate on the side.
A little. It's a little more than a little.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's not full time, but it's quite a bit. So we have 10 units over 3 buildings. So we have a quad in the greater Bayview area, then a triplex in the Bayview area that we live in and self-manage. And then we have a triplex in the Brewers Hill area.
Nice.
So that keeps me bouncing around quite a bit. And then obviously the 9 to 5 and then full-time spouse.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah.
Recently married.
Yeah, it's been a month of pure bliss. Once you walk down the aisle, it's special.
Blink twice if you're being held captive.
Yeah. No, it's been great. A quarter of it's been on the beach, so I can't really complain.
So where did you go?
We went to Aruba, so yeah, it was a good time. The Rio Palace. Would recommend anybody trying to get away from the post life after planning a major event with a lot of family members. So
How big was the wedding?
it ended up being about 175. So we did it at MK Brewing, which is actually we used it's Venue 42 and F Street Hospitality hosts it, and Glass and Griddle's in it.
Yeah, so it's from one over by the old church over past the forum.
Yeah, it's like in between Pabst and Pfizer Forum.
Yeah.
So
Good food there.
yeah, they're still renovating. I think what is going to be tap room, but then the rooftop was the ceremony, and then the actual venue was the reception.
Oh, that worked out. That's where you just share around too then?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it's cool. We just hopped downstairs for the reception.
That's really cool.
If you're catching my drift, I didn't get the invite, listeners. So
Still in the mail.
I wasn't one of those 175.
Yeah, you didn't ask how many people went. Could have just looked around the But yeah, and that was a blast. It's a lot to coordinate, but
I can imagine. I hear horror stories about how that can be.
we did it fairly drama-free though. We had a day of coordinator, which I would recommend to anybody. Took a lot of stress out of it, but yeah, I think weddings are going to be stressful no matter what. You feel so responsible for 100 and some or 200 and some odd people, their enjoyment that day, and then you want to have some fun yourself. So
Sure.
it's a lot to juggle.
So let's talk about this. So how did you get into that real estate, and are you going for the passive income? Did you want a side hustle, or did you feel like you weren't getting everything out of your job? What kind of drew you to the extra work? Because as you mentioned, you're bouncing around, you got a 9 to 5 already, now you're married, you're planning a wedding, and then managing 3 properties on top of that isn't easy.
Yeah, so I would say, I think right when you move into college, after you're done with dorm life, you move into this house and you're like, I'm paying what a month? To live with how many people a month in this old rundown house? I think that's where it sparked it. Just growing up, my parents just had a house, so obviously grew up there, they weren't making any money off of me. So then you go to college and you're like, paying X amount to go into basically you get a free room and then the kitchen, and then you're paying so much a month, and it's just, you look at that and you think, oh, I can monetize that. Like I've called my landlord twice throughout the year, they didn't really do much work. Obviously it's a lot more work than that, which I found out, but I think passive income is a goal. I would say what drew me to the passive part about it is that you can build something for yourself, so it's like a lot of work in the beginning, and then it just makes you money as you continuously maintain it, versus going to a 9 to 5. If I put in it 2 weeks, 2 weeks after like the U.S. bank is done paying me, so there's nothing residual for the work that I put in to start. So that's where I got interested in it, and then just doing self-research, actually going to my first showing, I guess, of a house, and then getting an MLO to laugh at me for the first time was really eye-opening, just like doing research that way. And then I kind of got discouraged from it, came back with a little bit more capital the next time.
Define MLO for the listeners.
Oh, MLO is a mortgage loan officer. So basically, the first 2 things you do to go buy a house would be see a realtor to go look at houses, and then find your MLO that will give you a pre-approval. So MLO will just like look at your income and say, yeah, we pre-approve you, so if you look at a house in this dollar range, you'll be able to buy this house. And then you go with the realtor, you go look at a house, and then they say, do you like it, do you want to write an offer, etc. Lost my train of thought.
Sorry to cut you in there, but
No.
so you got an MLO laugh at you, came back with more capital,
Yes.
and then you're probably cruising to the finish line.
Yeah, so I tried to do a partnership, which eventually could still be another partnership, but that fell through due to like a housing ordinance. We were trying to get insurance with an FHA loan, and then FHA loan is a loan that allows you, it's government insured, allows you to buy a house with 3.5% down. So there's a few variations of it, but most common is just an FHA. So you can buy a house with 3.5% down. Government says, okay, through the life of the loan though, you're going to pay mortgage interest. So you pay interest on top of that. You pay obviously your principal to the bank, and then interest to the bank, taxes.
It's basically insurance to the default.
It's just, yeah.
Because you don't have that much capital down.
So with the FHA, you have to pay for the life of the loan. There's some others that drop off once you get to like 20%, which would a normal down payment would be. But yeah, so we're trying to use an FHA, and then we wouldn't get insured through it due to the FHA, because if it burned down and there was an event, we wouldn't be able to build it back to a 4-plex because of the city ordinance. And then so we could only rebuild a single family home, so that wouldn't have the rent coming in, so then we didn't clear the rent specifications. So that was a bummer. It's definitely another roadblock, but at that point in time I had done so much research, and I listened to Bigger Pockets. This is a podcast I listen to. I'd say they're a good place to start if anybody's looking to even just learn more about buying a house. They're all real estate. They have a business podcast now, and they have a money podcast. So I acquired a lot of knowledge there, and just it kind of gives you confidence. Anybody could go through the process, but that gives you a lot of confidence about what you know you're doing. So then I came back and discouraged for a little bit, but knew I was going to go through with something shortly, and then started renting later, and then I bought one as an investment in October of 17, And then that was paying itself back very quickly, so I bought another one with an FHA then in January of 18. So that turnover was pretty quick. And then,
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you've done like a lot of work on those houses too. You like completely renovated them, right?
so the first one we did as an investment in what I call the Greater Bayview area, or the Greater Bayview area, or the more affordable section of Bayview, is we had to redo one unit, so we're just putting countertops, floors, not a lot, just painting, just like cosmetic stuff. So that one wasn't a lot. We just redid the one unit that was vacant at the time, and then we, just collected rent on that. And then the one that we had in FHA. So the FHA is not there to build a rental portfolio, so you actually have to live in it for a year, is what the government says. It's not terribly policed, but just to stay within guidelines, we want to live there a year. So then the FHA in Brewers Hill, we did all 3 units at this point. The initial, there was somebody living in the 3rd unit, so we were just going to redo the 2 bottom units. So like top to bottom. We didn't go down to the studs, but like almost everything in the studs, like, plenty of moments where I'm complaining about yelling expletives all over the place. With the plumbing, we redid plumbing, we did air conditioning, we did floors, patchwork a little bit with the walls, much with the walls.
You did that all on your own?
We did about 90% of it. Obviously, I didn't, construct an air conditioning unit, but
Plumbing probably, right?
Plumbing we did, with the exception of 2 a.m. night when I shut the plumbing or the water off the entire building, and I was on my hands and knees in a bathtub trying to get this to work, and just hadn't done enough research. I'm taking like this hacksaw, like this copper buckets. I didn't have like a I don't know, tube cutter or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't just like take it off, and like plumber came at like 4 in the morning and he just laughed at me. He's like, "What are you doing?" Like, I'm here with this like hacksaw going at this copper pipe. He's like, "That's never gonna seal because it's gonna be like all jagged." So it took like 3 seconds, spun this little pipe cutter around it, and then tossed on like a new attachment, and it's good to go from there. But I'm stressing out so much because I had to shut off. There's only one shut off for the entire building. So if somebody else living upstairs is like gonna wake up in like 3 hours and need to shower.
Yeah.
So I'm like almost near tears, ready to be done with it. But you get through those and it's so satisfying to see it come together. Obviously, anything like when you put real estate together, it looks really nice.
Oh
yeah. Sanding the floors, retiling other floors, definitely big experiences. So
Sounds like so much work.
just me and girlfriend at the time, wife now. We're just there doing it. So definitely memories I'll have for a long time. Probably have too much sawdust in my lungs now. It is what it is.
When's the next one? Do you have a plan to buy the next one yet, or
The next one,
wait a little bit?
yeah. So right now, just how the loans are worked, we bought the one that we're in now, with the bigger yard for the dogs, of course. So it wasn't as much of an investment as the other ones. It's more of just a place to live that we can eventually get it to a point where it's an investment. So we're looking to restructure the loans, because the one that we're in now is an FHA. And I'm not sure if you follow rates, but they just dropped quite a bit. So we want to refinance that, because then the mortgage interest drops off and the rate drops. So then you're paying a lot less in interest throughout the year. Which I think you would always take that angle, that you would take the less interest, but interest is also something you can write off, so it's not the worst. So anytime you're paying off a loan early, or like paying down extra principal, there's a negative side effect to that you won't be able to write that interest off at the end of the year.
So I get about half my tax return is all the interest I pay on my student loans.
Yeah, exactly, just like that.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah, so Steve, my boss's boss, he refinances his loan every time the rates drop.
Yeah.
So he's refinanced his loan, he's been for a year, like already like 2 or 3 times. Like, he had to wait a certain period and just refinance it again, wanted to refinance it again, so.
Yeah. To plug anybody, I would say Waukesha State Bank. They do a great job.
How much money did you get for that plug there?
It was a lot. I kind of sold out for this podcast.
There it is.
Yeah, no, I mean it costs about $2,000-ish to refinance from start to finish. You have to redo your escrow account, but that's obviously your money going towards things you're going to pay anyway. And then you get basically 1 month free. So you pay for the the month of your refinance. So if you refinance October 15th, you pay out October 15th to the 31st, and then November you don't pay, so your next payment will be in December. So when you're doing rentals, obviously that's not a big deal for your own house, but when you're doing rentals, then you have like a free month of rent basically. So if your rent isn't around that 2,000, it's almost silly not to refinance if you can't get a better rate or a better deal per month.
But all right, so that's real estate talk.
Yes.
With Kyle Martinelli. So let's break this out a little bit broader. So like you get out of college, you have the supply chain management degree, very useful as we've already mentioned.
Yeah.
So what was your initial thoughts? Did you have a job at US Bank before you graduated, or did you graduate and you were kind of like, all right, now what the fuck do I do?
Yeah, so I had kicked around the idea of going to, I was actually going to use the supply chain management obviously since I had it. I got a job with Sherwin-Williams, a company. I don't know if I would call it supply chain, it was more management. It was a lot of retail sales that I wasn't too stoked for. That would have been in the Madison area, which I was completely fine with Madison. Love the city, but moved to US Bank then, just kind of on a whim almost.
So you got the job at Sherwin. Did you start there?
I got an internship after my junior year.
Okay.
Sherwin-Williams. So I stayed on through most of the year, and then had a job lined up at the beginning of my senior year to start at Madison at the end of my senior year.
Did you have like a signed contract, or was it just an offer waiting for you?
I had accepted the offer at that point. And
Did you sign anything?
I didn't sign anything.
So you verbally accepted?
Yeah, I think it was just a verbal acceptance. So I hadn't gone for it yet. And then I told Sherwin-Williams I'm going to be in the Kenosha area. And I tried to transfer, which was in different districts. So I had to get the approval from the Madison district manager to move to the Kenosha area. So I had to tell him that, hey, you have another spot that you can open up to someone else. So they filled that spot between the time that I went to get the interview with the district manager in the Kenosha area. So they didn't like me in the Kenosha area. So I didn't go through with Sherwin-Williams, which I'm not sure if I would have stuck with it, but it would have been nice to have something in your back pocket and not feel frantic for an entire 9 months.
Right.
Before the end of my senior year.
Yeah, so what was that thought process? You're like, fuck, I was like, you had like this whole good safety net, and now you didn't.
Yeah, I think I was just feeling lazy, and I think, I don't know, obviously I was bummed not having a safety net. I think I could have handled that process a little bit better. I was doing like pity applications, but I was just kind of applying to places, and if they rejected me, I was like, fine with it, whatever. I just felt so burnt out on the whole process because I applied to so many places. Like I guess another one, I don't know, I was just down on myself, not feeling great about it, and then I think it was maybe 3 weeks before graduation, I applied. It's really too sad. But they called me out of nowhere, and I tried to like field these questions like, why do you think US Bank? And I was just like, made up some BS. I was like, I have no idea. I don't even remember applying to this. I think it was like on some site or something. I don't know. That maybe like my resume just got uploaded there. So that's kind of how it happened by luck. And then I went in for an interview, and I was a banker for 8 or 9 months to start. And I knew that's not where I was going to be long term. Mm-hmm. So I kind of just got my foot in the door, and then I looked on their career page inside within US Bank, and then I moved to be an accountant 8 months after, yeah. So then I moved to Milwaukee,
and the nice of it, US Bank building.
Been enjoying it. Yeah, nice. We're on the, I don't know if I can disclose the floor we're on. It's pretty secretive.
I mean, I was on the 34th floor when I was in that building. So.
Yeah, now we're on the 6th. So.
Yeah,
probably eating too many DK lunches and chilling there.
So good.
It's a nice building. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
It's hard to look out the window and see the Northwestern Mutual building.
Why?
It's gorgeous.
Big, gorgeous building. They have like a whole deck for like fitness center.
Yeah,
it's
like
a huge like penthouse or whatever's going on.
Yeah, but then you need to work for Northwestern Mutual.
It's true. I would imagine they have tenants in there though, right? Or are they all Northwestern Mutual?
All Northwestern Mutual. They're moving like everybody out of their old building, I think. Oh, and now they don't have, now the building next to the US Bank is Rexnord, which used to be Northwestern Mutual.
It's what now?
It's Rexnord. Or not Rexnord, Foxconn.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Come on, guys. Get your corporate movements. Come on. You freaking work down here. I don't even work down here.
I know. I've been there for 4 years, and I don't even know what's going on down there.
But looking back, in that like 9 month stretch where you were kind of friend, like there's a lot of college students who go through that. Like, you know, I had a friend, Matt Gerard, who you may know. He graduated without a job and didn't get a job until 9 months after college. He was working at like Jimmy John's, you know, random places just to make ends meet. You know, what is your advice having gone through that and you know, you kind of hit those burnout stages, you've applied for everything, you feel down on yourself, but like, what would you say that to Kyle, old Kyle now, that you've had that experience and gone through it and maybe look back?
I should really know this. I should have a polished answer for that because I go back to
career fairs. Oh, okay.
So people are like, you know, what are you looking for? And really, I'd say people are looking for more of a fit with their team, or at least in the accounting and finance space, and I guess specific to U.S. Bank. People really look for a fit and people they can work with more than what do you call them, hard skills versus soft skills. So they're looking at a lot of soft skills, just how well you can like communicate in a interview setting, and how you doing more, I guess, high pressure. I guess you would consider an interview high pressure, but like in high pressure instances. Versus, I feel like when I was in school, I was like, I need this technical knowledge. Like, I need them to know I got X GPA. I need them to know I did this thing or that thing. And I think it's more of just how you interact and how you can communicate with people. So I don't know if I answered your question on that, but I would say that's what I would tell people.
Yeah, I think that's
like how you should aim your interviews.
Yeah. What if you're not even getting interviews?
Yeah, if you're not getting interviews, find somebody who can help you with your resume as quick as you can.
That's great.
Also, I think there are a lot of organizations that you can go to that just have contacts, you know, like we have a lot of US Bank people that have contacts within, you know, whatever, IMA, AMA, whatever the organizations are.
AMA?
I don't know.
AMA, that was American Marketing.
They've got them within organizations like, US Bank's like, okay, hey, we need good people. Okay, we got good people. So, you get connected that way.
When I got my job at Baird, I worked with one recruiter the entire time. And I actually applied for like 6 or 7 different jobs. I had like 30, I forget the number, but like almost 30 or just over 30 interviews by the time I got a job there.
That's crazy.
It was nuts. And like the one that I finally got the job for, it was like 3 different rounds. And one of the days I was there for like 4 or 5 hours, just like getting drilled after drilled.
Yeah. So this is 30 interviews with Baird or 30 like?
30 interviews with Baird, but like for however many different positions.
Oh, okay.
So like I went through different rounds, and then while I'm there one day, I'm doing like 4 different interviews with 4 different people or 4 different groups of people. Like they drilled you there.
And so it's different people too, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man,
they were probably trying to just see what team you fit best on at that point.
Well, no, I got denied a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like, and it was over the course of like a year.
Oh, really?
Maybe 8 months, 9 months. A while it was, because I remember. I don't remember her name actually. Mary something. She was super nice, and I knew she liked me. She like kept throwing me like jobs that came.
Now she wanted the money you were worth.
So did you memorize like the Baird like letter that says you didn't get the job? I would have had that thing done.
You got like all 30 of them stacked up on your desk.
I did not. But I sent so many thank you emails.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did the thing.
You're a great candidate, but we're pursuing other interests.
Oh yeah.
We will keep your resume on file.
Yeah.
It's always the worst. Like, yeah, okay.
Isn't that the greatest?
That actually did help me. That actually happened one time.
Yeah.
So when I was interviewing for jobs when I was leaving my last one, I applied for a job at CNA Insurance in Chicago, and the recruiter called me like right away. I got a phone interview, and I didn't want to move to Chicago. I said like my goal or hope would be that I could work in the office 3 to 4 days of the week and work from home 1 to 2 days a week.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that position didn't work out. And she was like, yeah, unfortunately, the hiring manager would want you to be here every day, so that just won't work out. But I really enjoyed talking with you, so I'll keep my eyes open for something else that, I think you'd be a good fit for. And I was like, okay, and I was kind of just like, yeah, sure, whatever, it's just being nice, but that's fine, I get it. And then, no shit, like, 2-3 weeks later, like, got my first interview with Fiserv. I'm in that process. I get a phone call from that same recruiter, like, hey, found this position I think you'd be great for, blah, 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 we'd love to bring you down to get that set up. But like my turnover was like Thursday, my phone interview with Fiserv, Monday, it was like Tuesday, phone interview, Friday, in-person interview, Monday, second in-person interview, Tuesday, offer letter. So I didn't even have a chance to get to Chicago to go to that interview. But like that can happen, so don't always feel too down. If the recruiter likes you, especially if they're an in-company recruiter, they will try to find a spot for you.
Did you establish any connection with them, or was it just kind of like you dropped your resume off and then?
I just threw my resume on LinkedIn. I was applying, kind of the same thing. I was applying for everything. I was just waiting to see it happen. I reached out to a few recruiters I had previously talked to. I burned a bridge with Miller. That was great. Because when I left Baker Tilly, a recruiter reached out to me and we set up a phone interview. I got my job at my previous employer and then canceled that in-person interview. Same thing happened here. I reached out to the same recruiter. I'm like, hey, I actually applied for a job and he reached out because I applied for the wrong one. He's like, I think you want to do this one, right? I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I applied for that. We got all that set up. We got the in-person set up. And then I accepted my Fiserv job like 2 days before my Miller in-person was. And I was like, darn. So now he disconnected from it. Didn't like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The spiteful disconnect?
Apparently, I haven't seen any posts from him. I have like 800 connections, so maybe just he gets lost in everything else, but yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty popular.
So,
that's something that I feel like a lot of college students and myself especially, I really underutilize LinkedIn.
Oh, yes.
It's, especially now, even then, it's so valuable, man.
Do you use premium?
I don't.
I keep thinking about it. I'm on there every day, and I post a lot of content on there, and I interact with a lot of people on there. And I'm like, especially because we're doing this stuff now, and I'm always like, maybe it's worth it to pay because I'll get thousands of views on my posts, without even really trying. It's if I could really leverage that for other things, that'd be great. So I don't know where to take it though, because I'm not a B2B salesperson, I'm not an account manager.
Yeah. I guess what are you trying to do with the premium? I guess what can you do with it?
I don't know. I know you can see everybody that views your profile. I know that. That's how I always see the get premium. But I don't know what else you can do. Do you know?
It's more analytics. You just get more analytics, more stuff you can see who's viewing you. I think you get more features as far as what you can do within sending groups and stuff like that. I don't know exactly either. I never have been.
I don't know. Maybe there's Shay has a video on it.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. But back to my burning the bridge. The reason I was asking what your shirt and lean was did you kind of have the job offer? You had your safety net, then you found the one you really wanted, and you had to kind of break that connection because that's what I had to do with my internship that turned into a job, and then I went to Baker Tilly. And I think that a lot of especially young professionals and college grads don't know how to handle that because they like the safety net, but then it almost makes you look bad because you're accepting a job and they're expecting you to be there on Monday and then
it's kind of a slippery slope, and I can totally see that younger college, even older professionals might not know how to handle that. But I didn't have the safety net because when I said I was going to Kenosha was later in the fall.
Underutilization of LinkedIn.
Well, you can go anywhere with it. What do you think of people reaching out on LinkedIn?
Oh, love it.
Oh man, so I've had really good experiences with people reaching out on LinkedIn, but really shitty experiences.
I want to hear about your shitty ones.
I'll tell you about both. I'll start with shitty because they go right together. So the shitty ones are you get someone that connects with you and right away it's a salesperson. And the first thing you get is, hi Eric, I'm interested in your business. Just generic copy and paste. You didn't even take the time to look at my profile and put something personal in there.
Yeah.
You are literally copying and pasting this to every single person.
They got Eric in there though.
They got it. Sometimes. Yeah. No, but the crazy thing about it is okay, so I don't know, maybe that happens twice a day. And maybe every other day I'll get one person that owns a marketing agency that is reaching out to me. It's you do realize that I do the exact same thing that you do. And I don't know, I've started to call people out on this, and then all they do is just unconnect. They do that same thing. But I've also made some really cool connections from it, because as soon as I see that someone is genuinely reaching out and actually trying to start a conversation, I will get that conversation going right back. I'll try to offer whatever they need from me, not in a marketing way, just in who can I introduce you to, or how can I benefit this relationship for you type of thing. So that is the first thing I'm always trying to do with those types of people, and I've met some really cool people that way. I always take any meeting that I can get, whether I know it's going to be just potentially total waste of time or whatever. If I have the time, we can get that time together, I'll take it. And I've met clients that I have now just that way.
Yeah, it might seem like a waste of time at the time, but
for sure. You never know, man.
Yeah.
And even if they personally can't help you, now, or you can't help them now. You see someone 3 months down the road or whatever, like, oh, this would be a perfect connect for this person or that person. That's like a game to me. Like, it's super rewarding when you connect with people that do work out just for a business relationship.
That's why she's
Good old bottles.
Yeah, I don't know if they can hear it. I guess we'll probably have to leave some of it in, so there's bottles being thrown in the trash can behind us, and it scared Kyle like a cat. I think like he kind of tensed up a little bit, like somebody's trying to break in the window.
I think they're throwing from the 4th floor down.
I saw that. LinkedIn's an awesome space, but it's just like oversaturated with people that are just incredibly ungenuine. I guess that's just life too.
Well, it's any platform. It's like Instagram, it's Twitter, all the bots there. There's everything like that.
And when people do that, especially like in the marketing space, like I'll call them out like in a kind of nice way. Like, I don't want to be a complete dick to people, but then I'll like genuinely ask like, does this work for you? Like, do you actually get clients this way? Like, in my opinion, there's no way you do. No.
Yeah, I've actually asked people that too.
Yeah.
Like, do people actually like respond back to these to get a job interview?
Seriously. Well, that's what I feel about cold emails. Like for me personally, sending them to prospects, like I can copy and paste or even get personal the email to hundreds of different, let's just say like chiropractors in the area.
Yeah.
And then maybe even if 10% of those people even just hit spam on my emails, that's like personally hurting my brand, my email, and like my website. Like that's not good.
Yeah.
I don't know though, from an individual, like from my perspective, like I just get recruiters that reach out more often than not, or like financial advisors. Like if you're, and this isn't a knock to a friend of mine who reached out who wants to come on the podcast as a financial advisor, but like you have a financial advisor as your job title, and I don't know who you are, and we have like maybe 2 connections in common, I'm not going to accept your connection that way. Because I know you're just reaching out to try to find a client so you can manage my money or sell me life insurance. I'm like, no, I don't need that, thank you. I'm a CPA for God's sakes.
They schedule you for a very vague meeting.
Yeah. Cool, let's go grab a coffee and chat.
Yeah,
I get it.
That happens with multi-level marketing and financial advisors quite a bit. Which actually, unpopular opinion, I think multi-level marketing is great.
I don't even know what it is.
You mean like pyramid scheme?
Yes, pyramid schemes.
Got it.
I think they're good. I think
what was the one in Whitewater over near there?
Amway?
No, it was probably energy drink.
The energy drink.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
What was it?
Is it Verb?
Yes.
I think
Colin Driscoll got super into that.
Yeah, I knew some people that got into that. I think
I was friends with Painter and all of them. They got really
Vincenzo.
Yeah,
Actually, I saw his Instagram recently. He's doing big things. He's a photographer now.
big things.
Yeah, his Instagram looks like he's doing big things.
Yeah.
But I don't know, his life looks sweet. But I think multi-level marketing, good. It's a good thing.
As
Why?
long as you get that Lambo.
Yeah, right.
Only when you get 100 people underneath you do you get a Lambo.
I think the initial thought behind it is great because I think it's a platform that you can. It's like just like another platform that you can run a business out of. What I don't think is great is leveraging your friends and family to make money off it. I think if you have a valuable product and you can sell it genuinely, I think it's great. Obviously, you have like the oversaturation of like people trying to make like a quick dollar. Like same things like LinkedIn. Like so many recruiters on there just trying to have a quick pitch to apply for their company because they get a cut of it for their recruiting.
I had a recruiter talk to me today.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like
One that cut
once
it
a week.
and they haven't established like a genuine relationship, which I think it's a good platform to have. Like, Spotify, you can have a podcast. Like it's a platform that you can have your own business. Which, when you build it the right way and you put the work in ahead of time and build relationships, I think it's a great thing. There's just too many people who didn't do it the right way that gives it such a horrible name. I'm not a part of any, but I do think they're
apparently.
But if you want to
but if you heard,
Let me tell you.
if you got like 15 minutes after that for a quick pitch.
Yes. And then they wouldn't leave you the fuck alone.
Stop. Do you want to make like a couple $100 extra a month while paying your bills?
All you gotta do is just call up and get 5 people signed up.
Do you want to quit your job? Do you want to quit your podcast? No, I think they're I think they're in theory they're great. In practice, not so much.
Yeah.
I agree with them in the sense if people are just like incredibly, if you only dealt with the authentic ones, if you authentic people, but like you're right, there's just so many people that are trying to get rich quick.
Yeah.
And just do it like in a really shitty way.
Yeah, and if you're trying to just get people under you, it's obviously not like that's the pyramid. That's what people are looking at instead of getting product to the people that would want the product, use the product.
And I know people that have done great with it.
Yeah, I do too. Somebody actually launched incredibly successful real estate based off of their earnings from it. So,
Is his name Kyle Martinelli?
no.
Oh, okay.
No,
That's good.
Kyle Martinelli.
Yeah,
He's my friend. Really good friend.
this guy now. Yeah, that was a little tangent.
No, it's all, those are fun names. I haven't thought of verb or pyramid scheme in a long time, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Let's drop the big question, especially, and I don't know what we're going to get out of this, because if you didn't go to where I'm going to ask you about, none of us would probably be sitting here. So, college, looking back, you went, you got a degree, you don't necessarily even use it anymore.
Yep.
Was it worth it? Do you regret going? If you don't, would you have changed anything? And if you do, why?
Yeah, so I'm gonna give a little shout out to myself here. I have watched on YouTube all the podcasts. So I knew this question was coming.
You prepped.
Also, still don't have a good answer for that. I really don't. I was on the mom and dad scholarship, so obviously it was a no-brainer for me. But people who are paying for it themselves, it's tough because I had so much learning and personal growth being on my own and things that I learned while I was there, even though I had a degree that I technically don't use. I needed to have a degree to have my job currently. I kind of overhyped my econ minor when I was talking about getting a finance position. So obviously that helped and that got me the job. But I think it's so tough to say, let's go 60, 100 plus $1,000 in debt to get a job that, you're going to pay that back over X amount of years. I think, it's worth it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, it's worth it.
Why?
I just don't think I would have the personal growth that I did while I was there if I was just on my own working a different job or trying to launch a company.
What type of personal growth did you get? If you don't want to get into some details, you don't have to.
Yeah, no, I mean, just living on your own is definitely a different experience. As I mentioned, my parents paid for tuition while I was there, so, still working a job and having to pay for other things is still a learning experience, budgeting yourself financially. Also managing relationships when, I wouldn't say I had really strict parents, but I had parents that would hold me to, guidelines, things, curfews and everything. And then being on your own, managing your relationships and in that aspect is different too. Managing your own workload and not having anybody tell you go do your homework or, yell at you or anything. It's like everything's on your own. So would I have had the same growth in just working a job? I don't think so. So I think college is worth it. B3 schools, at least, they're a little cheaper. Where do I want to go for this? I think trade schools are going to be up and coming and big. I know a lot of people that have, electricians, plumbers, making more than, certain people in certain areas. I don't want to go specifics about my personal life, but
Eric?
Yeah. So, they're making 6-figure plus earnings. They're getting all this overtime working on big projects, building the Northwestern Mutual building, and I think it's, they're coming out without any debt and they're seeing this freedom and I wouldn't say stress-free lifestyle, but they don't have the stress of debt and such a burden that I don't think you can really plan for. Mm-hmm. You can't experience that debt or that feeling of saying, oh, I'm gonna pay like $400 or $300 a month for the next 8 years. You just can't know that feeling until it hits you, until you have that.
No, that doesn't bother me so much. You can budget for payments.
Yeah, you can budget for it, but what if you're like, hey, it's $400, I'd rather buy Eric a new bike or something,
Right.
Or I want to.
Did your bike break?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I'd like a new one.
Huh.
You would like a new one.
That's fair. Okay, so would you have gotten a different major if you go back and did it again?
No, I think business is
supply chain?
Very universal. I kind of lumped it in my interviews as business. I harped on my econ minor a lot, actually.
So did you double major in econ and supply chain?
Yeah, it was funny. I had to. So I'd take one more econ course, I think, to make it a double major. And so I had 12 credits my senior year last semester. So I could have filled it and made a full 15. Got a double major. I hated econometrics so much I was like, I'll just keep a minor. I don't even care at this point. I just want to get out of this place.
It's the laziest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, looking back, and I made a lot of lazy moves in college, which I'm glad I don't anymore.
Well, I shouldn't talk. I needed a 55% on my last final in one of my master's classes to pass the class, and I walked out there and I was like, I don't think I got it. I didn't study at all. I just cheated on my neighbor.
So Whitewater's giving out degrees to people like that.
Yeah. Hey, if you went to college and you didn't cheat, you're the dumb one.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it. Well, we did cheating, but it was definitely pooling answers, maybe. Should I say?
We resources as well.
Yeah, we definitely went to college at a great time to be there. My now brother-in-law is in college currently, and they have so many more measures that they take for people not to cheat or answer share or like pool our answers together on like D2L.
Mm-hmm.
So we would take a D2L, we'd take a laptop of one person's D2L, hook it up with an HDMI to a TV. All 5 of us would sit in a room and answer questions for the first person. They would get like, everybody's looking like paging through their book or looking through their laptop. First person would probably get like a 90. We'd save all the answers, and the next like 4 people would get 98s because we'd go through and get all of them right and then just get like one wrong.
Yes.
So we didn't get hundreds.
Yeah, I remember doing that. Except we all have, if it was the same question test, we all just put it at the same time, we just go through it at the same time. So
Yeah.
Instead of doing it 4 times over, but yeah, those were, I remember doing that.
Yeah. I think we'd do the first person to see if you could get the summary of the answers after.
Got
and
it.
if you could, then everybody else would just do it at the same time. But
Eric, you're not,
Yeah.
did you do any of that? Or were you?
Oh yeah, everyone did, man.
I think so.
Like I wanted to say when I graduated, I wanted to wear a Quizlet shirt underneath.
Yeah, I think I tweeted out, I was like, I think I should be giving money to Quizlet, how much like I used it. Like,
Yeah.
I think I shut down, I think.
Yeah.
Did it?
I think so.
See,
it
that
should have
sucks.
been.
It 100% should have
Yeah.
been. But I'm a firm believer that a degree, like a college degree, prior to the internet is way more valuable. And like,
Oh, yeah.
think how much more money.
Well, dude, even the CPA, like before, so you can take it, there's 4 sections of it, you can take them separately now over the course of 2 years you have. Back before it was this way, it was a 2-day exam on the floor of the Bradley Center. All you had was a pencil and a calculator, and that was it. And it was 8-hour days just in there, all 4 parts at once.
That's tough.
Yeah. Like, I couldn't even fucking imagine doing that.
Yeah.
Passing.
No, yeah, I think the price of degrees is going to keep going up. I think it'll be slowly more and more less valuable. I think what's going to eventually happen.
I think it'll come back down.
I think so.
I think pending elections, I think it's the value of your degree is gonna keep going down just because, like you said, like with the boom of the internet being more. I mean, it's more on how well you can use your resources instead of actually knowing things. I would say.
Well, it's like we kind of talked about in another class, like Google and like other companies are actually just wanting to hire people out right out of high school without college degrees.
Yeah.
That's the shit you learn, especially in tech industries, is like obsolete in a year.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think especially if college ends up becoming free, I think it's just going to be an extension of high school almost.
It becomes institutionalized by government.
Yeah. So.
Land's gonna take
It's just like the norm now. Like,
Yeah.
And I think a lot of companies, especially startups, like a lot of companies even, just, they see you have a degree, they don't even care if you have a degree. They just care, like you said, if you fit with that team, if you're coachable, and if you like really want to be there. You know?
Depends what position that is.
You're right.
I'm not
There's
doing that for a CFO.
You're right.
Like, I would like a CFO, and then if a
You want the
CFO
experience.
wants to hire somebody that doesn't have that and can teach them, then that's fine.
Yeah.
I think you need your like core people that have either the base knowledge and have done it already, or have a degree and done it already. Then you can't have somebody fresh off the different done it before.
You're
like,
right.
about certain aspects. But yeah.
I'm talking more, I guess, entry level.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
positions. Like even a manager, like you have to have someone that has at least some type of experience in that field or some type of managerial experience. Like you can't just throw someone in there and expect them to coach people.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right. I think we're getting 45 minutes into this lovely conversation. Some laughs came through. What's one thing that we didn't talk about that you were hoping to talk about?
Eric's bicycling.
Eric's cycling.
I didn't know you were so big into cycling.
No, I'm not big into cycling. You should see my bike, first of all. My bike is it's a hand-me-down, nice mountain bike with a brake that doesn't work too well. I believe it's a Hoppy.
Cool.
Nice.
But in greater news, so I found out, well I knew this, but I came to the realization recently that my dad dad sells like motorized scooters, kind of like birds, essentially.
Like that scooters that go to birds and limes. And
Yeah, exactly. So he like is a middleman that just sells them to people.
Yeah.
And so I got one over there now to try around for a little bit. And maybe
Yeah.
I own it up.
So he went from bragging about working out and all this bicycling to now just being lazy.
Oh, this is like the dilemma in my head. It's like, can I just do this? Should I just keep biking?
Well, you're not going to do it in winter anyway, so
I know.
it's kind of a moot point in October.
Right now it's not. So like I want to test out for a little bit to just play with, and we'll make this decision next year.
How much is it?
I think it's like 300 to 400.
Shouldn't your dad be against those since he's not a millennial?
Great. I wanted to actually bring that up today.
Yeah, we
last thought here.
we haven't
What do you guys feel
touched on
about like motorized scooters, birds, limes, all that stuff? As a mom, and you see people, older people, shoving them down, throwing them in the water, all these videos.
That's in bigger cities though, where it's like a way bigger issue, I feel like.
I think
I see people pushing down here.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't get with the MLMs. I think they're great in theory. In practice, I don't know. Because I see so many people in like third ward just driving those things reckless.
Well,
Like obviously I fear for their safety.
yeah. Like on the sidewalks. There has to be like some type of like not education, but like you have to be smart, or like they need to start handing out tickets to people that are driving like assholes.
But yeah, if you keep them in a bike lane, I think they're great. I think they're awesome.
Yeah.
'Cause I mean, you can get from like Bayview to downtown for like $2 or $3. So,
No way.
yes, wait. Isn't it $1 to start and then 15 cents a minute?
It's like from my apartment on Prospect to my friend's apartment over near Grand Avenue is like $6. Because he told me that. Because he lied from his apartment to mine. So it was
I
like
think he's
$6.
taking a scenic route. I think he might be BSing you too.
I don't know. I think it's from my place to Casa it was like 3.
Really? For like a mile, it's like $2, and then like every mile, about $1 to $2 every mile.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Either way,
I think
$5.
just is a hyperbole of how cheap it is. But yes.
Yeah. Maybe I over exaggerated, but they're cheap. I think they're
They're fun. Yeah, I was about to say.
they're a nice option to not sit in an Uber. So you don't
Have an awkward conversation.
Yeah. Both weather, bucks.
Yeah. Is there a recommendation for anybody listening who lives downtown? Wake up early on a Sunday or a Saturday. Get on one of those because nobody's driving on the roads downtown. And you can just like slalom that bitch just up and down the roads. It is, especially if you're a little hungover, get the wind in your face, wake up a little bit. Go to a mimosa brunch.
I would recommend any mornings to people, like 7 to 9 a.m. I do a lot of my workouts on the weekends now, and it's just like so peaceful, so nice.
Oh yeah.
I run down by the, I live in Bayview in that triplex, so I run down by the South Shore Terrace a lot, and it's just like a gorgeous area.
Nice.
Start the day.
Except for the running part.
Yeah, well, I enjoy that. I know it's more of an acquired taste.
You're like an Iron Man.
Yeah,
Tender over here.
recently.
Did you do it in Madison?
I'm signing up for that on Monday. It opens for
Got it.
next year's, but I did one in Boulder.
Okay.
So I did a half. Was it 2016? Wrote my own training plans. They were awful.
I was gonna say
They didn't work. Didn't get a coach. Had a pretty cheap wetsuit. I still have a cheap bike. Went way too hard on the bike. The run was brutal. Said I'd never do it again. This is the stupidest sport I've ever done. And
You
then
get a bird.
I couldn't get a break.
The Eric's like, yes.
Might not be legal. But then got a little bit overly inspired. I watch the Tour de France every year. Overly inspired, signed up for a marathon and an Ironman. And then
Well, just train better. If you get better equipment,
Yeah.
like your first time through it too, it's like then you
Yeah.
just figure out your strategy. And then I just finished David Goggins' book. He talks about how he did a couple like ultras and like you don't realize
Yeah.
what it's like until you're in there.
oh yeah, you don't know the even like what your mental state's gonna be during it, like
Right.
how you can push yourself and like coach yourself like within your head. But then I found Training Peaks, which is huge. I guess you guys are not familiar with it.
No.
It's not like a common mainstream thing. But Training Peaks, you like put your workouts in, and it tells you like your residual stress score and like how much you can, like how much fitness you've gained from it. It's got like 3 scores, like your stress score that you can like your body can like naturally repair over like 7 days, so it's like a 7-day rolling average. And then your fitness, which is like a 42-day rolling average, and then your form, which subtracts like your daily values to like your form is like how tired you've been or like how worn out your body is over time. So like when I first started writing my plan for the Ironman, and it like retroactively put my workouts in there, because I found it in maybe April, and I've been doing workouts from February to do the June Ironman. And I look back and like retroactively put everything in there, and your form score is supposed to be like negative 20, like 0 to negative 25. And my form score was like negative 75 for like 3 or 4 weeks. And I was like, this is an awful plan. I'm just gonna get myself hurt. And like, God, I didn't get like hurt worse.
Figured it out.
Yeah, but like seeing that, I was like, that's very eye-opening. I'm like, wow, this makes a lot of sense. And like learning, just how lactic acid works and like your heart rate thresholds and your speed thresholds and like actually using those to train properly is eye-opening. So yeah, I'm ready to get back on the course and do another one because I was incredibly slow.
Nice.
Good luck, man.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
we'll keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, you have to.
We'll be on sidelines drinking beer in Madison for you.
Yeah, my fiance or wife, whatever you want to say.
Fiance, wife.
It's getting weird to say, but wife. So I have my watch on me at all times, and I didn't obviously have the phone on me at the course. And at one point, I was doing this turnaround, and it's at the bar, and I see like my phone or my watch buzz and it says phone low battery. I'm like, my phone's not with me. My wife had it. She was drinking at a bar, watching the race. And I'm like, I'm suffering here. This is like mile 16 of 26, and you're drinking a beer.
Yeah.
And I knew she was there too because I saw the like low battery, and I was like, this is brutal.
That's funny.
She just shouting at me. She's like, you want to be an Ironman? Like, it's a joke? I was like, yes, I do.
That's the best thing I think I'll do.
Yeah.
Just to tell you that, I'll have a Michelob Ultra for you at the end.
Yeah, she's not quite as into the endurance sports as I am. But
Gotta have your own thing.
yeah, for sure.
It's true.
Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Of course, I was glad to be here.
So, it was a fun conversation, good to catch up a little bit. You and I have been chatting probably since the last time you were at Painters, remember that, man?
Yeah, last time at Garage, is that the bar that we're usually at?
Oh, God, probably, I hope not. I do not like that bar.
Yeah.
But, where can people find you? The Twitter, Instagram worlds, maybe LinkedIn if they want to connect and try to sell you something.
Yeah, I think LinkedIn is just Kyle Martinelli. I don't know how many followers or I don't even know if you have an at on it or whatever that at is.
It's just
a
your
handle.
name. Yeah, it's just your name.
Yeah, it's just my I don't have a handle on there.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter recently got off of. Might be getting back into though, but I don't even know what my handle is.
The Twitterverse, you gotta get
Yeah,
So you wrote down mine, but you didn't even have yours?
I have my Instagram. I know Instagram. I think it's at Martinelli Kyle. Not a lot of interesting stuff. You probably just see my dogs on there. And then my Venmo is at Kyle Martinelli.
So everybody can request
I think those are my only platforms I'm really on.
Be sure to request.
Yeah, kind of on the Gary Vee train here. I think I'll start posting content once I feel a little more established.
There you go.
So,
Love it.
Eric, where can people find you if they aren't already following you?
This is easy. I remember this one. Eric. I'm sorry. At Eric.
Speed bump.
At Eric _.
Underscore.
Yes. 22.
Underdash.
I said that the first one too. You made fun of me.
That's because how it's called.
Going back and forth in my head, I was like, ooh, this isn't gonna be right.
Okay, Twitter.
Twitter, same thing.
Okay.
It's an _, not score.
consistent.
Fair enough. Alright. I am at Jakubitz, at JKUBICZ on Twitter, Andrew Jakubitz on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Snapchat. So, also Venmo if you want to give me money. So yeah, check that out. Follow me, reach out, let's chat. Always like meeting people. The podcast, if you're listening to this, I assume you know where to find it. But if you share it with people, tell them they can find it anywhere. Spotify, Apple, Google Play, Stitcher, everywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can find it. Also, if you want to see our beautiful faces, we are on YouTube. We put out content on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, so follow us all there, the Casual Millennials Podcast. Share our content. Word of mouth is the best friend of the podcast, so talk about us as much as you can. And follow us and like our stuff and share them if you like it. So, appreciate listening to this one though. I know Kyle does. Hopefully he gets more than 5 plays, which is more than his parents, us, and maybe one other person. So, we'll see what we get to. Thanks again for listening. Hope you have a great time and day wherever you're listening to this. Cheers.